Everyone. Today we're gonna talk about the history of one very important board game that you might know. The name of the board game is chess. That's right. The same 60, the same 8x8 board, kings, bishops, pawns, horses, rooks, knights. Yep, everything about this little board game. All right. This is a wooden set, but you can find sets in plastic, metal, and more expensive ones actually made out of like tempered glass. All right. Let me just put this away. So, chess was formally invented in the 6th century. So this was during the time of the Gupta Empire. Yes, it was invented in India. When the youngest prince of the empire was killed in battle, the second eldest son, which is like the second to oldest, he devised a plan to represent to his grieving mother. So he took the 8x8 Ashtapata board, which was like another ancient board game, which is less known because it's very similar to chess and sometimes you can get mistaken for it. So he invents new moves, new ways of moving them, and new rules. And the singular king piece, which is representing the youngest prince, is the one that represents the fate of the player. So back then, it was originally called chaturanga, a Sanskrit word for four divisions, with like four different chess pieces at the time. And then it made its way into Iraq and other ancient time periods. And by 1000 AD, which is a medieval time period, it has become a part of like normal study. All right, and now it was and then by the early 1500s, because of like growing trade, it went from royal courts to coffee houses. All right, coffee houses. One quick note is that due to spread to Asia and other areas, there were variants of chess as well. In Mongolia, there was a larger type of chess invented by Genghis Khan, which had these like safe spots called citadels. In China, the chess pieces were placed at the intersector of board squares rather than inside. And in Japan, the pieces that are lost to the enemy player can also be used by said enemy player. And in Europe, it took on its final form, which is like the same chess game. However, bishops and medieval like priests did not advise it, and they said that you shouldn't spend too much time on it. And chess was even briefly banned in France, and the game kept going. And also, one quick fact is that chess took on like more of a romantic style during the like early 15th to 16th centuries, and its peak was in a specific game where Charles Henderson got checkmate for sacrificing his queen and both of his rooks. That's kind of like super dramatic moves, right? And moving on to the 1900s, which is like the Civil War. I mean the Cold War. The USSR spent dozens of millions of money on international chess players, and they dominated for half of the century. But when computers were invented, a singular computer called Deep Blue, all right, it played the game against one of Russia's best players and actually won, all right. And now AI robots are capable of playing and winning against even the most smart players. However, we have one singular side plan: pull the plug, all right. Even though they're better at us to play chess, just know it took humans, us, to build them, because without us, they would have never existed anyway. So yeah, that's chess history for you. One full thing, just go on Wikipedia, you know me.